In Chapter 8, we're going to explore things called arrays. Why do we even need these things? I think that it's easiest to explain that by starting an example and then realizing when we have not enough tools in order to do the job that we need to do. So I'd like you to go to JEdit and start up a new example in your notes folder. I've called mine Chapter 8.java with an associated class name of Chapter 8. And then go to inside your class, go and find your Chapter 7 lab code from the scanint method and just paste it here. I'll let you do that by yourself in a minute, but I'm going to pull this down so you can see the contents of my class. This is what I'm doing in main. You can copy this to get it ready, and then go ahead and pause this video and find your Chapter 7 lab method from scanint. Okay, now I have a method to scan the int that I just pasted in, and let's take a closer look at main. So I create a scanner, I create a random number generator, and now I'm going to ask the user how many numbers they'd like to use right now. How many random numbers do they need? And then I'm going to take it in using scanint. So it's a good idea always to make sure things build and run. When you make changes to them. Okay, let's say I need 7 random numbers. Okay, good, it's running. At this moment, I know I'm going to be generating a bunch of random numbers. I should store those in variables, right? That totally makes sense. That's what we've been doing. If I was going to be taking in these numbers from the user, then I would still need variables. Here's my problem though. I don't know how many variables I need. The user is telling me how many numbers here, and I don't know if they're going to type in a 2 or a 200. So when I have a variable number of variables, that's confusing. An array is going to be something that we need to use. So arrays to the rescue. And here's why. An array is like a whole collection of variables all together in one place that I can access with one name. It's amazing. Check out how you would define one of these things. So I would say it's an int, just like I'm typing, if I'm going to be using numbers in this case, a whole bunch of numbers. And then after it, instead of just saying int and then a variable name, I'm going to put square brackets. This lets Java know that this is not just a single int, this is a whole bunch of ints that are going to be collected together in something called an array. Now, just like before, I have to give it a name for it, so I have to give a name for it. So it might be something like random nums. So it's an integer array called random nums, and then I'm going to make it over here. I have to make it using the new this style up here, like I did for scanner and random. We haven't really talked in detail about what new does, and we probably won't really talk about the underpinnings of what new is until later in your career as a computer scientist. But for now, this is just how you declare an array. New int, and then in the square brackets, I have to say how many of them I want in the set. That's all I have to do. This has just created a whole set of integers with, we don't know how many. It depends on how many numbers the user typed in that they needed. Well, it would be nice if we could print this out, just so that I can see what's in there when I actually make one of these ints. Well, let's see. We have learned how to do a for loop, and we have a specific number of times that we need to go through to print things out from this array, so a for loop would be a great choice. Let's print out the array, just to see what's in there. Well, how many numbers? I'll just put in how many numbers, because I know that's going to be how many, and we'll see another way we can do this in a minute. And I'll just print each one. And maybe I know that it's an integer, so I'll use the printf formatting. Maybe 2 wide and call them integers, and then we'll put in. Oh, how do I access the current one? Oh, I'm stuck. Okay, let me stop thinking about this for a minute and see if I can just print out the first one. We'll come back to this. Well, what's in the first one? What happens if I just print out the variable anyway? Random nums. Oops, not the string random nums, the actual variable. Because I don't really know what I'm doing with arrays yet. Maybe I'll just print out the whole array. Let's see that. Build. How many numbers? Okay, 5 numbers. What on earth is that? In the next video, we'll find out.